Denver Broncos fans, have no worry. Sean Payton is here to save the day. The Denver Broncos could be a team with big ups and big downs in the year 2023. They might win 11 games, or they can win an embarrassing 5 games like they did last year. I really have to do this. I'm really sorry, Broncos fans, but I have to rewind before week 1 when you guys did acquire Russell Wilson. The hype was crazy. Everyone that I knew believed that Denver Broncos were going to be good enough to take the Chiefs out in the AFC West. Russell Wilson was going to land in Denver and light it up with Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, Tim Patrick, all these weapons everywhere. But it just turns out, maybe, just maybe, Russell isn't that guy. But it turns out you were all wrong, unfortunately. Now, what's the best or worst that they can do in 2023? Right now, they seem like they're good enough, just slightly good enough to be in the playoffs. They have lots of talented players that are locked and ready to go. They've got a great coach, a Hall of Fame caliber, legitimate coach, not some scrub from the Packers, a strong offensive line, and good enough pass catchers, and a defense that seems to be doing okay. But as everyone knows, the biggest game changer for the team is no one other than quarterback Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL during his first 10 years with the Seattle Seahawks. But when he came to Denver, he did not seem that good at all. Now, let's kind of break down and transition what made Russell Wilson Russell Wilson. Well, he worked with Pete Carroll in Seattle, who really likes to focus on defense, right? So their offensive strategy was to run the ball a lot and then pass it based off the run. This basic football strategy really helped propel Russell Wilson's career. In New Orleans, Sean Payton, of course with having Drew Brees for most of his career, liked to have his team pass the ball a lot, but the changes that the Broncos made during the offseason really shows a similar path to what the Seahawks did. It looks as if they're gearing up for a season where they're going to be running the ball a lot like the Seahawks did when Russell Wilson was successful. Sean Payton will probably adjust the offensive strategy to fit the quarterback and offensive line to do their best. Thinking about the Broncos' best possible season is fun. It's actually probably the funnest team to really think about because they can go from a Super Bowl, honestly, a Super Bowl caliber type of team or a team that could be picking in the top 10 of the NFL draft. Now, they don't really have a super tough schedule. Get a break in the middle of the season and don't have to play against a lot of really good quarterbacks. Of course, they'll have what they have within the division, playing against one of the best quarterbacks we have ever seen in Patrick Mahomes 2 times a year, and playing another elite quarterback in Justin Herbert 2 times a year. And I actually have no idea who the Raiders have as their starting quarterback at the moment. Now, they'll have one of the better coaches every single week that they line up to play football in 2023. I really also don't want to harp too much on the failures that the Denver Broncos went through in 2022, but it is very important to know that the Legion of Boom that Russell Wilson had with his successes in Seattle had to have definitely coddled him, definitely had to be a huge impact on the success that he has had. And the successes that Russell Wilson has had, he needs to know and understand that this is a team game. I just need Russell Wilson's flashy lifestyle to be paused a little bit, watered down just a little bit.
He literally got called out by his own teammates for having his own office. His own office. Ridiculous.
There's also reports that while in Denver, he needed his own coach, not a Denver Broncos coaching staff, but a Russell Wilson's coaching staff. That's out of line. You're not bigger than the team. He needs that message to be hard-boiled into his brain. Now, I don't want to really rip him too much of 2022 because he has a fantastic coach, but before we get into 2023, please go ahead and give us a like so we know you like our content and we're doing a good job. Now, the Denver Broncos' best case scenario is putting up a legitimate fight for the division title. If everything goes well and these freaking wide receivers can stay healthy, okay, I'm not a Denver Broncos fan, but I'm so sorry that every single year you put so much love into your wide receiver core and they let you down just due to health. How many times have we thought Courtland Sutton was going to be the next guy up and he gets hurt? How many times has Jerry Jeudy been doing the same thing and he misses a few games? I really love what the Denver Broncos did in the second round by picking up Oklahoma wide receiver Marvin Mims, who I truly believe week 1 is going to make an incredible impact. And I would also like to point that if any of you are doing a Dynasty Fantasy League, he is going to be a legitimate steal in all of your leagues. So go grab him if you can. Wilson plays well when the offensive line does its job. The running and passing games work well and the defense stays strong. That's the formula. The Broncos could win 12 games. Now, in that case, they'd probably win 4 out of 6 games in their own division in 2023. I would say you would want to sweep the Raiders, hopefully split with the Chiefs and the Chargers because those divisional games are so close. Now, when Sean Payton started with the New Orleans Saints in 2006, they did well right away, ending with a 10-6 record. His teams have always been good at scoring, except in 2021. So there's a real chance that this team could win a lot of games and challenge the Kansas City Chiefs for the division title. The Chiefs need to be on all of their motivational walls, and they need to seed those red and white jerseys every single day and use that motivation to kill it in practice. But their worst case scenario is a very different ball game. They can be legitimately one of the worst teams in the league, but not just because of their head coach, but because of what they might have at the quarterback position. If things go really bad in 2023, Wilson might play so badly that Payton either wants to replace him or actually does. Then Jarrett Stidham would probably end up playing for the Broncos, which would put the team in a really tough spot. I personally believe that former defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero was and is a better add-on than Vance Joseph, who's now in charge of the Broncos defense. If the offense doesn't do well because of shaky quarterback play, it would be like the last 6 years all over again for the Broncos. The offense can't keep the ball, and the defense has to play more and more defense, more than they should. But I actually think in the grand scheme of things, because of the coach that they have, the worst that the Broncos can do is win 7 games. I think Sean Payton's skills as a coach will help them win a few more games than they would if he wasn't there. So here it is, Denver Broncos fans. I need to know, where are you guys at right now in your head? Are you guys happy that Russell Wilson is still your quarterback, or is it only about Sean Payton? Where are you guys at with Javonte Williams? You do have a quarterback that it looks like he's making strides to do whatever he can to become successful. I've been seeing reports that he is losing weight, becoming a little more lean, to where hopefully he's looking to use his legs a little bit more when the pocket crashes. So look to see Russell Wilson take a little bit more rushes with the ball. And with the receivers, I know Broncos fans, just pray for a healthy season so that they do not get hurt. The season's around the corner. Kickoff is on the way. Please let us know in the comments, Broncos fans, what are your expectations? Can the Broncos end up with, let's say, a 10-7 record and a spot in the wild card round? Let us know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe.